Yo, 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 yo. What up, lifers? What up, lifers? What up, lifers? It's Dave Life. It's Dave Life. You're watching Dave Life After Dark. Dave Life After Dark. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're with us tonight. So I want to say thank you. I really appreciate that. It's been a long week, and we're here with another episode. So I appreciate y'all, man. Um, let's do it like this. Let me see who I have with me in the background. First of all, hey, there you go. I knew I needed something. I knew I needed something. As a matter of fact, hold up. What up, lifers? What up, lifers? What up, lifers? It's Dave Life. It's Dave Life. You're watching Dave Life After Dark. Dave Life After Dark, your favorite late night adult podcast. What's going on, everybody? I appreciate y'all for being here. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're with us tonight. So I want to say thank you. Look, I want to start this off the right way, like we always do. Heavenly Father, have your way, Lord. I pray that you would speak to your people, Lord. I pray that you would enlighten us, entertain us, and inform us, Lord. I pray less of me and more of you. I pray, Lord God, that you would get glorified in this conversation. Let us have a great conversation, one where we learn things and edify each other. Forgive us for all of our sins that we've committed by both commission and omission. Charge it to our head and not our hearts. I pray, Lord, again, that you would speak to your people. Share something with us tonight. We trust you. We give you praise, glory, and honor in Jesus' name. Amen, amen, and amen. All right, y'all. We're in the building. It's Dave Life. Dave Life. You're watching Dave Life After Dark. And tonight, you guys, we're going to discuss something that I think is important. We're going to discuss something that I think is important. I see everybody in the green room. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for everybody that's in the green room. I see y'all. We're bringing everybody up. We're going to get right into this tonight. The discussion tonight is going to be public relationships. And I see someone in the green room. She's actually out here from Atlanta. She came all the way from Atlanta for other business, and she made sure she brought her mic, her camera. She got a glass of wine. Man, thank you for being here. Come on to the stage. Her name rhymes with Sarah. Y'all know her. Her name is Kara. What up, Kara? What's up, Kara? How you doing?
I'm all right. Dealing with a little jet lag, but I'm doing well. Thank you.
Yeah, I just came back from the East Coast. So yeah, I was tired the other way. I think I just got in last night and slept for hours. So I know the feeling. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it, Sarah. She ready to go. Yes. I see someone else in the building. She's ready. I think she's ready. Let's make sure that her mic is on. She is that girl. Y'all know her. Fun, exciting, vibrant, controversial. That girl, Sophie. Sophie, that girl. What up, Sophie?
Hi, hello, Kara.
Hello.
Okay. Why is my voice like this? Hello. I am the deep voice gang. I have a deep voice.
Definitely. How you been, though, Sophie? You good?
I'm wonderful. I am blessed. I had a good stretch. Shout out to Flexology in Atlanta, Georgia. They gave me a wonderful stretch.
Okay.
Pretty good.
Okay. So we plugging people now, huh? We plugging people.
All right. We're gonna get some. Oh yeah, we gotta talk about that.
Okay. Yes. Sponsors and all that. Mm-hmm. I got one more person I want to add to the stage. He's always ready to go, even on today. He says he's homeless, and I'm not sure. I'm not sure if he's homeless, if he's under the viaduct. the man under the bridge. I don't know, but we gonna bring him to the stage and see what's up with him. Come on, my man, Tony Love. What up, Tony?
What's up?
How you been, Tony? You good?
Outstanding, man. Outstanding. I'm out here just stretching people out. Got a class called Flexology. I front the front is Flexology, but it's just so we stretch people out. But go ahead.
You know what? Y'all two not gonna start with me tonight. I don't know what y'all on. Flexology and stretching people out. I don't know what is going on, but I'm glad y'all both are here.
Good to see you.
Yeah, hey Tone. I'm gonna let me see. You know what, Tone? You good? You good to go, man? I think we good.
Yeah. Usually in the Maybach, it's quiet, so you shouldn't hear too much background.
Hey, look, y'all. You know what I wanted to talk about tonight? Tonight is about public relationships. Now, why did I call it public relationships? Right? Public relationships. Could have called it public relations, but instead I called it public relationships. Why? There's been a lot going on in the news the last couple of weeks about relationships.
Mhm.
And just to run through a few of those stories, I'll share this tab right here. Where is my tab? Boom. All right, let's share the tab. Okay. Devon Franklin is moving on. Devon Franklin is moving on.
That's my people right there.
All right. Pastor Devon Franklin, who was married to Megan Good, is now spotted holding hands with a new, they said a new thing, new relationship. We don't know what's going on other than the fact that he is holding hands with someone new. People were in the comments saying, oh, she's not Megan, this, that, and the third. People always got something to say. Let me zoom in on that a little bit. People always got something to say. But the situation here is that he does have a new boo, and we don't know how long they've been together or how serious it is. But this is a public relationship, and we're going to comment on it.
Mhm.
We're going to comment on it. But first, I got to show you something else. Before I even get into the other thing, did y'all hear about this? Is this news to y'all?
Very much so.
Yeah, I don't even know.
Did not know.
Didn't know?
I just watched a podcast when he was on it a couple of days ago with the lady with the braids on the side of her head. And he was just talking about, how he chose and what he plans on doing in the future. It could have been an old podcast. But I thought he was single.
Is she a
But
celebrity?
happy for him.
Is she a celebrity, Tony? We don't know. We don't know. I actually was out here, Destiny and I saw him. No.
Mm-hmm.
I'm potting. Let me let them know I am podcasting right now. No, but me and my fiance saw him at the Grove. And this had to be last year around Thanksgiving or Christmas. And it did look like he was on a date. I don't know if it was this person or not because they were kind of far away, but it did seem like he was involved with someone new, and people were questioning, saying, "Oh, she's not Megan. She's not as cute as Megan," and all that stuff. But do you think that it's our business, being that he's a public person? I guess I'll say. I don't want to call him a celebrity, but he's a Hollywood producer as well as a pastor. He's a known celebrity. He was married to a Hollywood actress. Is it our business, Kara, to talk about people's relationships? And if you're in the public, is this a part of your persona, your image, your relationship?
So it's technically not our business. However, he did go on a little book tour. He did kind of court a little bit of fame and monetize that. And as such, now we will follow him. It's unfortunate for him, you know what I mean? And I am Team Megan Good. I wish him well, but I'm sorry.
You say your team Megan Good, huh? You don't.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of hers. So at least it seems like he kept it respectful. So kudos to him for that.
Mhm.
But good luck,
Okay.
Chuck.
All right. Sophie, do you feel like it's our business to see who he's dating, or is it fair for us to compare her to Megan Good at all?
Oh, two questions.
Two questions. Let's start with the first one. Is it our business to know who he's dating?
It's not our business, but it is business. If you would, it is business, because this right here is not him taking her out on the red carpet, like prancing around. They look as though they're actually trying to be incognito. She's not, they're just kind of out and about. But like Kara had mentioned, his first relationship, it was very public. This one, I only could suspect that he probably wants to keep it, more private. And kudos to him. Once people are divorced, I know people choose a side. It is what it is. I never really had a side with them. I like them both equally, respect them both. Then your second question was, does she compare to?
Yeah. Should we compare her to Megan Good? Like, is that fair for us to compare her to Megan Good?
It's a thing, though. I don't know if it's like it's just a thing. Even in non-celebrity worlds, people are going to look at your first wife, your first baby daddy, or whatever it is, and they're going to compare it to what you have now. But when I say to him, because I have nothing but love and respect, and I really hope and wish the best for him, and any people who are dating like after a divorce, I really wish you the best. And sometimes you may go for something different, like completely different from what you had in your first relationship. So I don't think it's fair for us to compare this young lady to Megan. I don't think that would be fair.
Okay. Tony,
Yeah.
did you hear about this? Do you think it's right for us to compare her to Megan Good? Is his relationship our business, being that he's a public person?
No, I don't think it's right to compare her to a 304. You know what I'm saying? She's her own woman. You know what I'm saying? She's not a 304 like Megan Good.
A three.
Excuse me.
Wait a minute. A 304, Tony.
What's a 304?
You don't know what a 304 is?
No, my eyelashes. No, what's a 304?
Sir.
Oh, 304. If you turn it upside down, it's hoe.
I knew what he was talking about.
Her to Megan Good. You know what I'm saying? Because
Take my breath away.
Tony, we don't know if this woman is a hoe. Let's be fair, Tony.
she cheated on him. That's why he left her.
Wait. Oh, hold on. Let me make
Who
sure I'm
told you
understanding.
that?
You're saying Megan Good cheated on Devon Franklin, and that's why he divorced her?
Yes.
We got to
I
fact check
reject
that.
I reject that idea.
You want me to tell you? You want me to tell you how we all seen it? Did you not see the show she did on Prime where she was sleeping with other dudes? So she cheated on him for money, and he didn't like that. He said, "I don't want you doing the sex shows." She said, "That's how I get paid." So he's like, "No, you're not doing no sex for money." But she's like, "I'm gonna do sex for money. That's my job." He's like, "Well, I ain't doing it." And before you defend it and say that's her job, so if a dude work doing OnlyFans, it's all right for him to sleep with other women as long as he getting paid for it? No.
She did not have sex for money.
She was making out with other dudes.
Doing a sex scene.
He knew what he was getting into. He signed up for that.
I don't know about signing up for
That's
it.
why he left her, because who wants their wife on the big screen making out with other men? He didn't want that.
So don't marry an actress.
Well, maybe she said she wasn't gonna do it. Well,
Huh?
maybe she said she didn't do no make out scenes like that. But now we're justifying sleeping with other men as long as it's for money.
No. He signed up to marry an actress. And she continued to act.
Not a porn star.
Well, hold on. Let me jump in. Because he did sign up to marry an actress. He married an actress. Now, Tony, you're saying she was sleeping with men on camera for money. Now, I want to make sure I'm understanding. You're saying you think she actually was cheating on him by messing with other men? Or are you saying she was doing sex scenes, which is her job as an actress, and he didn't approve? Which one are you saying?
If I'm with my girl and
We're not talking
I
about you.
sex with another girl and I record it, oh, it's the sex scene.
See, Tony, you playing, man. Tony,
I'm just saying.
you
All right,
playing.
it's a sex scene. She paid me for it, so it's okay now.
All right, so look, hold on. So Tony's a comedian. If y'all don't know, Tony Love is a comedian. Tony got jokes, and I see the faces of the ladies, and I'm gonna let y'all respond. But let me just say this, Tone, I really don't think that Megan Good is cheating if she's being an actress. If she's an actress, and he knew she was an actress, and she's done sex scenes before,
All right.
right? He knows this. He's a Hollywood producer. If he
Okay.
knows this, then he signs up for his wife being, you know, a starlet, a beauty queen, you know, an actress that's wanted by a lot of men, and she's done scenes before. So he knew this. So he don't have two legs to stand on if he's mad that she's gonna do this, especially after 10 years of marriage.
Well, whether he knew it or not, in any healthy relationship, when you express to your partner when something bothers you, do you not acquiesce?
When did he express that, Tony? Since you're privy to the conversations from the crevices of your vehicle.
Yeah, because he called me. So let me tell you, he was not comfortable with her doing the sex scene. That's what's going on behind the scenes, and everyone was taking on your position. But my question is, if you express to your partner something you're not comfortable with, and they do it anyway, they said, I'm gonna do this anyway, then what do you do then?
Okay.
Can I say something, Dave?
So he's a pastor. What pastor wants their wife?
Absolutely.
You see what I'm saying?
I hear you, but Tone, we got to let the ladies respond, and Sophie is ready. But I got to say this: he married an actress, and he's a producer. He was not unaware of her job, of her beauty, of her assets, of her track record. He was not unaware. And I'll add, he had been celibate for years, and she had just started her celibacy journey for a less amount of time, and they chose to get married. So he knew he wasn't marrying someone that, you know, had never had sex. So and real sex is different than on camera for your job as an actress, not a porn star, Tony.
I'll give you that. Let me ask you this though: if he was the one that cheated, would have not come out?
If he was the one that cheated, what?
If he was the one that cheated, would it have not came out?
It would have. But first, before we can go there, Sophie, nope, I told Sophie she got the floor. Sophie, go ahead and respond to what you were going to say earlier.
As somebody who's been married and divorced, and almost the same amount of time as this gentleman and his former wife, the thought that people cannot change and grow, and that you cannot tell your partner, I know we were doing this, but we need to matriculate into doing this, is like bizarre to me. So because she was an actress that was doing a lot of things before she was married, and she was younger and wasn't maybe as popular, she's supposed to go ahead now that she's married and still do the same things. There are several actors and actresses that don't do heavy porn scenes or sexual scenes like that don't show their body, that have body doubles. I don't know if she cheated or if she not, but if that was the case, that there was a discussion that I wasn't privy to, and he said, hey, I think we need to fall back on doing so much, or maybe not show whatever it is, and you break that agreement with your partner, whether it be, you know, I don't know, you could have married someone who was a big spender, you know, who has is this whole thing about he knew what he was signing up for. That's, to me, that's just, I don't like that verbiage. I don't like that, because you should change, you should grow, and no one signs up for something that's negative, that's going to be demonstrative to the relationship. That whole sign up for, y'all can keep that. I'd rather go ahead and just stay single if I'm supposed to find a man that I'm be equally yoked with, and then because he had something about him that I was, you know, dealing with, or we talked about, and he still wants to remain there as a believer, please. If that's the reason that I'm with my homeboy, yes, let her go to the streets and maybe she was a 304, because you have to at some point grow and leave and cleave, and that includes family and certain aspects of what you do for a living.
Boom. Preach, sister.
Tony's just making up stuff. There's been no reports aside from in his head about her being unfaithful to him. Has anyone else besides Tony heard this?
I have not. Hold on, Tony. Hold on, Tony.
That was
I have
literally
not
a question
spoken.
for everyone but you. Secondly, when I say he knew what he signed up for, he is not a 20-year-old man. He is a seasoned pastor. Okay. He signed up for marriage with an actress. He fully wanted to capitalize on all that came with being the husband of the Megan Good. Now, as far as what was permitted in terms of what he was comfortable with and how that changed, it doesn't seem like any of us know, besides apparently Tony and the thoughts in his head. So to label her in a derogatory manner, I don't think that is fair at all.
She had that before she got married.
My opinion stands.
She had that.
My opinion stands.
She had that persona before.
Mm.
She had that during. She had that. I've seen the clip when she was in church with him.
Yeah.
Somebody tried to check her about what she was wearing, and he defended her about what she does and what she's not going to do. Mm-hmm. That was like epic. But after a time, there's a time, and then there's another time where you should grow. And it's not limited to your pay grade or what it is you're doing. After a while, shouldn't you want to do something a little different? Especially if your spouse is saying, hey, I think we should move this way. You have those family talks and you want to grow that way. It wouldn't surprise me if a pastor is having a conversation with his wife of 8+ years on maybe reformatting the things that you do after they've had some tenure. Okay, we've been doing that. You're doing. So now we're at 8-9 years. Babe, let's have a conversation about this. What do you think? And if her answer was no, I'm still going to go ahead and do it. Then I could see how someone could say, hey, you know what? I can't do it any longer. I tried. I can't do it.
Well, that's a stretch though. We're speculating. That's what I'm saying. That's not fair.
But we're not speculating because we're also using blanket statements on saying that's what you signed up for. That's speculation.
No one he signed up to marry an actress. What I'm saying is we don't know what he has communicated to her and what she's communicated to him.
I'm talking about the speculation that do not do nudes. There are actresses.
I agree.
So to say,
I agree.
Signed up for.
We don't know what they have agreed to.
Yeah,
that's the speculation I'm referring to.
Mm-hmm. But
for example, Boris Kojo and Nicole Ari Parker.
Okay, so we also could say she signed up to marry a pastor.
Let me give you an example.
Signed up for
Boris Kojo and Nicole Ari Parker are two actresses. They're married to each other, and from my understanding in interviews, they've also said that they have certain boundaries that they do not permit.
Mm-hmm.
Mouth on nipple, nipple in mouth, and there's like a few other things, but that's one that stood out to me. That's what they have agreed to in their marriage. All I'm saying is we don't know if there was any issue regarding her job. That's what I'm talking about. When I say he signed up to marry an actress, that's all I'm talking about. I'm not talking about any further boundaries within their marriage and what that was in the beginning and how it should have changed. That's the speculation I'm referring to.
Understood. So, in the same breath, she signed up for marrying a pastor. So in the same breath, if she didn't like him being a pastor and she having to modify, it goes. And there's in this case, it goes both ways because they really are oil and water. I mean, to me, if I'm gonna be real, I can't say let's be real, but they really were oil and water.
We don't really know what he's really like.
We know she's a clout chaser.
And he's not?
Absolutely not. I didn't even know who he was before her, but I know
that's what I'm saying. He has relished in the celebrity that has come
She
from he wrote a
embarrassed
whole
him.
I
book.
know who he is in my
He
community
hasn't
because he's
really.
a part
She
of my
embarrassed him
church.
publicly.
We know who he is. Y'all may not know who he is, but we know who he is.
Yeah, let
We
me
don't know
jump
him
in.
personally,
Let me
though.
jump in. We don't know him personally, but
That's what I mean.
so before we get off track, you're watching Dave Life After Dark, and tonight's episode is public relations. That's what we're talking about, public relations, and so that means should public should relationships be public, even though they're a public, couple. Should their relationship and the details of the relationship be in public? We're talking about Devon Franklin and the news that Devon Franklin, the Shade Room reported that Devon Franklin has a new boo. A new boo. We don't know her name, but we do know that Devon Franklin has been seen holding hands with her. Okay,
Kind of like,
walking,
don't she?
holding hands. Wait a minute, hold on, Tony.
Kind of like Megan.
She kind of look like. I'm trying to zoom in. Let me see. Tone. You saying she look like Meg? Tone.
She's cute.
Okay,
That might be his assistant. You don't know what's going on, man.
That's as much as I can zoom in on. Now, I'll say this. I'm not here to say whether or not. My bad, Sophie. I see you. My bad. Okay, you back on camera, Sophie. Okay, my bad. Can you hear me, Sophie? Uh-oh. She may not. All right, she had to take a call. Okay. Sophie will be back when she's done with that. All right. Now, I'm not here to say whether or not Megan Good was, as some people say, a 304, or whether she was an industry girl. I'm not here to judge none of that. But I will say that she's an actress and she's a public figure. And Devon Franklin was not as well known in the public, but he was a Hollywood producer and he was on the order of Will Packer and others. So the industry people knew him, and the people that knew that he was a minister, they knew him. We just didn't know much about him unless we happened to follow him. When they did get married, I remember that she did get judged. I was there at a church service, Kara, that Sophie was talking about, where a lady in the congregation tried to read her and say, "Yeah, if you were a first lady, because your husband was a pastor, then why are you running around and stuff like this?"
And he defended her.
And he defended her. They were mad at her. They were mad at her because they're like, "Why are you wearing this and all that?" He was like, "Hey, this is my wife. If she wants to wear, she can wear whatever she wants. She's a wife."
She could be a 304. I married a 304.
Tony, why you keep doing that? Tony Wildin'. I ain't playing with you tonight, Tony. I'm not playing with you tonight. I got it. Tony feels that she was a 304, but we're not doing that.
I don't feel that way. That's just a fact.
Okay. Tony's opinion is that she was a 304. He feels that those are facts.
Hey, can you put a poll up, Dave? Put a poll up. Ask the audience.
You know what's interesting? I can't put a poll up right now, but I will put that up on the YouTube. And we'll ask the audience and we'll revisit that. But I do have a different poll that I want to show tonight. Pause. That sounded real. Pause.
For you, Dave.
that was cringe. All right. Those days are over. Those days of After Dark going there, it was, that's in the past. But I do have another survey that I did ask, and this is related. So since we're talking about Devon Franklin and his new boo, right? And we're talking about relationships and should they be public, I have to bring up this relationship because did y'all see this? Jonathan Majors is being sued by his ex, Grace Jabari, for defamation, assault, and battery. Now, why we bring up Jonathan Majors? Well, it ties in because he is the new boo of Megan Good. Megan Good and Jonathan Majors are a couple. Yes, Megan Good.
Another actor?
Well, he was a producer, her ex-husband. Now she's dating an actor. Okay. All right. And look, we're not, Tone, you got to get off Megan, man. Let Megan live.
You know what? I blanked out for a second. I was kind of like, wait a second. They're still dating?
Megan Good and Jonathan Majors are still a couple. Yes.
They're still a couple.
Yes. They were just at the NAACP Awards. Yes, absolutely. They're a couple. Yep. Okay. And I'll pull that up.
Okay.
I'll pull that up. But Jonathan Majors, he was found guilty of misdemeanor assault on his ex-girlfriend, Grace Jabari, who's shown right there. And I did put a survey up on DaveLifeTV on my Instagram. And I asked, does he deserve to go through this defamation, assault and battery lawsuit, which is a civil lawsuit? Does he deserve that? Or is she just trying to destroy him? And before I show you the results, I'll ask you guys, does Jonathan Majors deserve to go through another lawsuit? He's already been found guilty. He's already been found guilty, you guys, of, misdemeanor assault. And essentially, when he put her back into the SUV, she hit her head. They tussled. She chased him for blocks, which was very weird. And he was found guilty of causing a laceration behind her ear. And I believe maybe a scratch on his arm was never talked about. But she had a laceration on her ear, and he clearly pushed her in the SUV and she hit her head. But it was called unintentional. And Kara, help me out here. I know you're the attorney on deck. It was like unintentional. If I remember correctly, it was an unintentional type assault.
If Karen an attorney, I know she knows Jonathan Majors was innocent. Go ahead.
You seem to know so much, comedian.
I do.
I don't think he was innocent. I'm not an attorney, but I don't think that he was innocent. I feel that women that are survivors or in a domestic violence situation, they do things like chasing. They do things like running after they've been told, leave me alone, because they've gone through the physical and mental abuse, and they had that detachment phase where they don't want to leave him, but they don't want to stay, but they do want to stay. And there's a lot of that back and forth. There's a lot of that back and forth there. Take a poll or look at on YouTube on women who have stayed for years in bad situations. There are times where he may have beat you up and you just forgive him, or you just go along to get along because you have kids, whatever the clout, because she was being prepped to be Michelle Obama, whatever. Oftentimes you will see women and hear of them acting the way that they did with their abuser. And does anybody deserve to be tried again and again legally? No. If he was tried and he was found guilty and he served his time or paid his dues, it is what it is. Yet you still have to adhere to whatever comes after that. If you get a ticket, if you get a fine, if you have to go through a couple years, because I believe he's an industry plant anyway. They tried to force us so hard on how attractive this man is and how wonderful and how great he is. They really pushed. He came out of nowhere. But anyways, and here we are.
So Kara, do you remember the situation with his charges? Like I said, I know it was misdemeanor assault, and it was some term for like unintentional. Do you remember what that was, Kara?
I didn't really follow the trial. I don't remember the charges, unfortunately. However, some other attorney friends that I spoke with were surprised at the verdict and thought that he should not have been found guilty. Now, everybody has their own baggage and their own opinions, and to some extent it's subjective. I don't really know what was presented to the jury, right? My limited understanding is that she also was the aggressor. And at this particular instance, and someone else can correct me, that she started with him first physically.
In this particular instance,
on that day.
On that day.
So the other question is, why wasn't she arrested?
Right.
Typically, when it's a mutual situation, the cops bring both people, they take a little free trip for an overnight stay down at the county jail.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Now, the burden of proof for a civil case is lower than that for a criminal case. So it is customary whenever someone is found to be guilty on criminal charges, that especially if they have a little money, that you pursue civil action immediately thereafter. Think about like the OJ trial or any other big case. I believe even if he was found not guilty, they probably would have pursued the defamation and maybe the assault and battery, but definitely defamation. I'm surprised, and I don't, I'm not very up on New York state law, but I'm surprised that there is not an additional infliction of emotional distress charge.
From her onto him.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So it's common after a criminal trial has been decided for a civil case too.
Yeah. So criminal cases are beyond a reasonable doubt.
Right.
And then civil trials typically are preponderance of the evidence. So is it just more likely that it took place or not? So it's a much lower burden, a lot easier. And you can typically get, things in front of a jury, and you can, rile up their emotions, if you will, like
Right.
a lovely comedian seems to enjoy doing.
Comedian Tony Love. Okay, so
Excuse me.
thank you for the legal breakdown. So going back to the question, does he deserve this lawsuit that's against him, or not? Like, is she just coming after him, or hey, he probably deserves this?
So there's, on the civil side, it's typically a money grab, but then it's also, if someone else sees this happen, they might be less likely to behave in a similar manner. So it kind of also puts the community on notice. You might want to think twice. And not to tie it back in, but think about the whole Diddy saga that's kind of unraveling before our eyes. I'm sure many others in his position have tried to, set up their business a little differently. They might not be paying their girlfriends in the same manner. They're going to reevaluate how they do things moving forward. So.
Okay. Tony Love, do you feel that he deserves this, or do you feel that come on back when you can, Sophie? Do you feel that he deserves this lawsuit, or do you feel like she's just coming after him? That's the poll. I'm going to give you guys the results of the poll, but the survey said, do you feel like he deserves this lawsuit? Yes, for sure, he's an abuser. No, he doesn't. She's just coming after him, trying to ruin him. Well, I'm not sure, but where there's smoke, there's fire. Or another one was, yeah, he deserved it because he shouldn't have been messing with Becky in the first place.
All right, so of course earlier I was trolling, but I'm gonna get serious now. Okay.
All right, I appreciate it, because I think you was upsetting Kara. Karen don't.
You don't gotta think.
Yeah, I know it. I was trying to get some emotion out of her. I was just trolling though. So absolutely not. He doesn't. Right? Are y'all still there? I can't see anyone.
Yes, we are. I'm soloing you, sir, because you were about to explain yourself.
Oh yeah, I was about to spit hot fire like Dylan. So check this out, because those of you who know me, I am kind of in the legal field in my real life as well. So I understand very well how preponderance of evidence works, and then also beyond a reasonable doubt on the criminal side. But
and you're being serious, for the record.
No, absolutely.
All right, my man. Okay, cool.
So here's an easy way to answer this. If the roles were reversed and a man was to snatch a phone out of a woman's hands and then she snatches it back, that there in and of itself is gonna be a charge, which is what she did. They were in the back seat. He got a message. Apparently, she wanted to see who it was. She grabbed his phone to see it. He grabbed it back. He tried to run away. She chased after him, literally on video. Like, a man it's a never put your hands on a woman, never put your hands on a woman, which I agree. He's running on video. But he gets charged with, because when he put her back in the car, she cut the back of her ear. But she's not charged with theft for snatching his phone. She's not. So to me, this is kind of like a political stunt. They just want to get him for whatever reason. And from what I heard in the court, they wouldn't allow him to submit evidence. For some reason, they objected to it, and they wouldn't allow his evidence in discovery. So what we seen in the media, the jury didn't see, because some of it wasn't allowed. For what reason, I don't know. But apparently what he did get found guilty for was it was like, well, since we can't get him for this, let's just get him for this. So it's something. And I just think it's unfair, because to me, it looked like he did everything he can to try to avoid that situation. And men deal with that a lot.
Now, Tony, from what I remember, and man, y'all got to forgive me, because we covered this episode in detail back in maybe January, maybe before that. Okay, so I'm just going off of memory, but from what I remember, I think the part that really got him in trouble is I think the jury was allowed to hear the tape from a prior incident. So the incident we're talking about happened in 2023, March, April 2023. There was a prior incident that happened in September 2022 when he was still filming, I think, Ant-Man 3. And in that incident, something happened where, she came home. It was recording, and it sounded like she came home drunk, and it sounded like he was mad at her, and he was going off on her about you're not behaving like Coretta Scott King. You're not protecting us and protecting me, and I'm a very important black man. And she was very apologetic, but the text messages related to that conversation were, you can't go to the hospital because they're going to want to investigate how you got the injuries. And she's like, well, I won't tell them. And he's like, well, even if you go, they're going to want to investigate. So it was in the text messages. It was an admission that she had an injury. No one said how it happened, but he was like, you can't go because they're going to investigate and I'm going to get in trouble if you go. And she's like, well, I would never hurt her. I would never hurt us as a relationship. And he's like, yeah, but you can't go. So the idea that he was trying to prevent her from going to get medical attention for some injuries for whatever reason to protect his reputation.
Objection, Your Honor. Speculation.
Hold on. The jury was able to hear that. And that gave, what was it, preponderance or was it, what is it called? The burden of proof in a criminal?
Which means it's more likely than not. But that right there does not, just because she has an injury, you can't prove that he did it. This was a criminal case, was it not, Kara?
This is a criminal case.
So that's beyond a reasonable doubt. So
but they added that to the evidence. And then when you see the video of him pushing her into the SUV, it was a lot. Go ahead, Kara.
I'm totally guessing here, but I believe they probably were introducing that evidence to show their state of minds and how they ended up in the position they were in on the night in question. Right. So, and I think it might have been Sophie who talked about domestic violence situations being a little bit more complicated.
Right.
And so to mitigate or to explain away some of the things they did, I'm guessing that they introduced the prior acts to show, one, this is not the first time he's put his hands on her. And two, he's kind of set up a situation where she doesn't have the same power. She's not as free.
When did he put his hands on her?
There were previous incidents that they were talking about.
No, I'm talking about in this one. In this case, when did he put his
in this case, Tony, when he was putting her back in the SUV. So
when he was trying to stop her from hitting him. Is that what we're talking about?
Well,
so if I just might, a battery isn't just an unwanted touching, but it's also harmful. And if she was in fact injured, then that was a touching that was harmful to her.
And that's exactly why they said it was unintentional harm, because he was found guilty of basically unintentional, I guess, assault or battery, meaning he didn't intend to hurt her, and yet through his actions he did. That's what he was found, and that's why it was a misdemeanor. But he was found guilty of that.
At what point do we say it's self-defense? Or do we just allow them to hit? Do we just allow them to keep hitting us until when?
So to prove self-defense, that would be on him to show that. And I don't know if he put that as a defense or not. But he would have the burden of proof of putting up that case, just like the state had to prove that he was in fact guilty of the crimes. And I can't remember which ones he was ultimately found guilty of, but they had the burden of proof. But if you want to prove self-defense or insanity, it's on you to prove that. So you got to put up your case in chief. And it appears that they did not.
He also was not, she was not on trial. So in that particular instance, I know he was claiming that it was self-defense. And look, I tend to believe that they both were fighting and it was self-defense and all of that. But the problem is she wasn't on trial. He was. And when the district attorney, the New York, Alvin Bragg, I believe his name is, New York district attorney, when the police did arrest her, because she fled and went back to London. When the police did arrest her and bring charges against her, Alvin Bragg, the district attorney, decided, I'm not going to press those charges. Throw them out.
And that's, to me, where the publicity stunt comes in, because you didn't want the outrage from the media because you knew that this was a big case. And so now, to me, it becomes a publicity stunt as opposed to holding all parties accountable for their actions.
Publicity stunt on behalf of the New York.
The prosecutor.
The prosecutor?
Correct. Because now we're talking, because that is an elected position, is it not?
It is. The DA. Yep.
So we all know that influences what they prosecute.
Yeah. Now, he's also the same, as I plug in my battery, I apologize. He's also the same district attorney that brought charges on R. Kelly, the same district attorney that brought charges on Donald Trump. And I'm not saying he shouldn't. I'm not even saying those people didn't deserve it. But there is an element of public perception that he's the first black district attorney in New York, if I'm not mistaken, in Manhattan, if I'm not mistaken. So he's showing himself strong, and there is a public component to that, Tony. So I think that could have something to do with the charges and everything not being brought or not being held against Grace Jabari.
There's a reason why the scales of justice has a blindfold on them. Everyone should be held accountable equally, regardless of gender, regardless of sex, regardless of whatever. If a party did something, they should be held accountable. And I think that this kind of divides genders, but it's a matter of who did what and holding them accountable. Not, oh, well, she's a girl, so we're going to be easy on him, and he's the big bad wolf. And I just feel like that's not always the case.
Well, to a certain extent, you have to take into account gender and size. And going back to the self-defense argument. So, like, say, for example, Dave, how tall are you?
6'2".
Okay. I'm 5'1". So if you were trying to defend yourself against me, you would have to use such an effort that was reasonable and necessary to get you out of whatever I was doing. So if I'm just hitting you with my hands, that's one thing. Now, if I have a weapon, that's a different conversation. So I think, unfortunately, his size likely played a role. And I can just imagine, an attorney playing that up in court.
Yeah.
Did you stand up, Mr. Majors?
So wait a minute. Hold on before we
hold on. To your point, Cara, the case law you're talking about, Graham v. Connor, does dictate that you use reasonable force, the minimum amount of force necessary to maintain power. All he did was place her back in the car and go. But again, he didn't plead self-defense. And like you say, with a weapon, that's case law, People versus Bright. So a weapon wasn't involved, but yeah, you're right. I would make the case he is bigger, he is stronger. And I would argue he did use minimum. He was trying to get away. I mean, that's what it looked like to me. So I do agree with you that those components, height, weight, size, gender, should be taken into accountability. But just because she's smaller, we shouldn't say, well, it didn't hurt you when she hit you.
Right. But you have to also, and again, because I didn't really follow the case, I imagine, at least what I would have done, is have an expert on the stand to talk about her injuries and how much force would be required to create something like that. Wasn't there a broken finger or something?
Yeah.
Am I making that up?
Mm-hmm.
No, I think they just say she had a scratch behind her ear. I don't recall.
She had a laceration behind her ear that they had on camera that the police took pictures of. And now here's what they said. They said he broke her finger. And then the defense argued, well, she was out partying later that night. She was having drinks. She was paying for stuff with that same hand. But the police did the following morning when the police came and found her. And this is important since we're on this case. And by the way, you guys, this is Dave Life After Dark, and we're talking about public relationships. And tonight we happen to be on Jonathan Majors and Grace Jabari after talking about Megan Good and Devon Franklin. All right. So having said all of that, there was, Tony, they said that her finger was broken. She did go out and party. She did a lot of stuff with that same right hand. But then the next morning when the police found her the next morning when Jonathan Majors came home and found her passed out in the walk-in closet, he immediately called the police because she had threatened to kill herself if he didn't come home that night. So he calls the police. So when the police get there, there's pictures of the police getting her together, and she looks like she's just waking up out of whatever sleeping pills and alcohol she had, and she did have like damage like on her knuckle as though it was hurt. Now we don't know when that occurred, but
We know.
between the car fight and the police getting there, her finger was injured. Her ear had a laceration. Now here's the other thing, Tony and Kara. By the way, Tony, it's Kara rhymes with Sarah. We have it right there on the.
I did. Didn't I say Kara?
He said Kara.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. I meant
See.
Kara.
Kara Jor-El is Supergirl.
Kara.
This is Kara. There's a difference. Anyway, last thing we gonna get onto the poll. Pause.
Well, nobody think about.
So what the hell was I about to say? Y'all done got through me off.
Absolutely nothing.
No, man, I was making a point.
So can I
Anyway,
interject?
go ahead.
While
Go
you're
ahead,
trying to
Karen.
remember? Anytime somebody's injured and you have documentation, video, medical records, and you're trying to prove that this in fact was not necessary, you just got to figure out what was the amount of pressure likely to cause an injury like this and translate that into something tangible for the jury. So is this the amount of pressure required to move a truck? Is this the amount of pressure required to do X, Y, and Z? You make it real simple and demonstrative for them so that they understand. And then you ask, well, was that reasonable? You just have to paint the picture. And if you hear it's something excessive, and then you take into consideration their size, again, I watch, but that is likely what they did. Translated it something tangible that the jury could really understand. And that's probably what jammed them up.
All right. So I don't know if we can see this, but we'll try. Yeah, I zoomed in a couple times. All right, so this is the SUV. And as soon as we can zoom in, well, we couldn't. All right, so that's them running off. Do you remember she chased him for blocks? Okay, here it is. Now, Tony, look, he picks her up. Bam, she hit her head right there. Okay, and it looks like he's pushing her forcibly back in. She's trying to get out. He's pushing her back in. And then he tries to get away. And as he tries to get away, here comes the tussling. She's pulling him. He's running. Pulling him. He pushes her away. Now it's a tussle match and it's a track meet. But the point that I want to make here, which I wasn't able to pause it, and you guys, this is on DaveLifeTV on YouTube. You can go find this clip. What I want to make here, the point is when he lifted her up, Tony, and put her in the SUV, it wasn't a light push. It's not like he was trying to body slam her, but he definitely picked her up and pushed her in, and she tried to fight him off, and he pushed her in like 3 times. So if I'm going to pick up Kara, who's 5'1" and I'm 6'2", and I'm going to pick her up and lift her into an SUV, I doubt if I'm going to do it lightly or be able to control how lightly I'm doing it when I'm trying to get away from her. So he pushed her, and she hit her head. It was very clear she hit her head on the SUV.
But why was he doing it?
Don't matter.
Because I'm gonna tell you why it matters. Because if the roles were reversed and a man was trying to grab a woman like that from stopping her to leave, he would probably get charged with kidnapping. Because kidnapping is stop preventing someone from going and also taking someone. So again, the video shows where she's not all the way innocent either. She's literally chasing him, trying to stop him from leaving. One could make the argument he was trying to get away from her and she wouldn't allow him. And so how do you quantify minimum amount of forceness? Because just because she's smaller how do you quantify the amount of strength that she has? Because obviously he couldn't get her in that car as much as he was trying. He still couldn't get her in there. So
yeah, I hear you.
She's not innocent. Look at her. She's chasing him. He's trying to get away.
But unfortunately, right here. Now, I can't pause it, but bam. And here's the thing, Tony. Unfortunately, everything you said, if the roles were reversed, I hear all that. But what we have on tape is him picking her up and pushing her into the SUV multiple times, and the case went there. Now, here's to bring us back on track. The discussion tonight is public relationships. Should relationships such as Megan Good, and Devon Franklin, such as Megan Good and Jonathan Majors, such as Devon Franklin and his new boo, right? Should these relationships be public? All right. And I asked the poll question, does Jonathan Majors deserve this? The questions were, yes, he's an abuser. The answers were, yes, he's an abuser. No, she's just trying to ruin him. Not sure, but where there's smoke, there's fire. And that's what he gets for dating Becky. All right. What do y'all think was the top answer from Dave Life TV viewers? By the way, we had over 100 views, and I think we had I don't know, we probably had 20 or 30 votes. It was not as many views, but we had a lot of people that looked at it. What do you think was the top answer, y'all? Did he deserve this? What do you think the lifers said?
Becky for 100. Not that that's my personal opinion.
Tony?
I would guess they said not sure, but where there's smoke, there's fire.
All right. Let me see. How can I? Is it gonna let me? No, I don't want to delete that. Okay. You know what I'm gonna do,
Click on
guys?
where it says seen by 174. You got to click on that.
Yeah, click on that. All right, let's try it again. Boom. There you go, Tone. Look at you. Well, those are the viewers. Oh, you know what, too? I'm not on my phone. Yeah.
You just had to do that for nothing.
For nothing. I did. All right. Here, but I can pull it up on my phone because I do have my phone.
Kara,
I'll
are
give
you
you.
up with the YSL case?
Funny enough, I used to work for Fulton County's district attorney's office, and an attorney that I used to work with is representing him.
Wow.
Talking about Brad Steele?
Mm-hmm.
Brian Steele?
Brian. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Shout out to my people at Sweet 300.
He's fighting for him too. I mean, he's going back and forth with the DA.
No, he's a phenomenal attorney. And not taking anything off him. In my opinion, I believe his wife is even a better attorney.
Really?
So they work together. But Brian Steele is phenomenal.
But I hear a lot of great things about Judge Glanville too, and he's going back and forth with Judge Glanville. And at times, I'm just like, you doing too much now. That's the judge.
So don't count Brian Steele out. He, in my opinion, if I had to compare him to a football team, he'd be the Steelers. He knows what he's doing. He's well aware of the performative nature of it. I really respect the fact that he's not, the Diddy of defense attorneys. He's not all up in the camera. He focuses on his cases, and he is well prepared all the time.
She got to cut out for her. I mean, I think she's doing a good job, but they ready. She has a mountain ahead of her, but I mean, it looked like they got a lot of evidence. I'm not sure if you've seen Mr. Bean. He been on the stand.
No, just because I came from the office, I leave that case alone.
All right. So let me get back to the poll. All right. So here it is. Does Jonathan Majors deserve this defamation lawsuit after he's been found guilty of misdemeanor assault? Okay. Question was, yes. The answers were yes, he's an abuser. No, she's just trying to ruin him. Not sure, but where there's smoke, there's fire. And yes, that's what he gets for dating Becky. All right. It looks like we have about 23, 31. We got about 35 votes. And these are the results. Let's see if I can do this.
I can barely see names.
Yes, he's an abuser. 24%. No, she's just trying to ruin him. 38%.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure. Where there's smoke, there's fire. 29%, and that's what he gets for dating Becky. 9%. So 38% of people said B. She's just trying to ruin him. He does not deserve this. But right behind that, 29% said, I'm not sure, but where there's smoke, there's fire.
So I'm happy it wasn't the Becky answer, though. The few clips that I have watched on social media about the trial, there was something talking about him also being suicidal, if I remember correctly, and having his own challenges and being in a dark place. I think he needs help. but that doesn't excuse putting your hands on somebody, either of them. I don't believe in putting, my hands on a man, especially thinking that he's not going to put his hands back on me. I don't think that is fair. I think you need to learn how to control yourself as a human, as a child, as an adult. It's just not appropriate. But he seems to have his own challenges he needs to deal with. And it seems like they were toxic together.
Yeah, he went through a lot. And Megan Good is holding him down. So, and again, we're going back to the whole concept of public relationships. How much of this stuff is our business? So yeah, we'll see what happens with him. You know what else? The other, oh yeah, here we go. The other discussion is about public relationships. Now, I don't know if you guys heard about Drea and Drea Michelle getting pregnant. Let me see.
Yes.
Yeah. She's pregnant by, who is it?
Dude from the Houston Rockets. I forgot what his name was.
Jalen Green.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jalen Green. So Drea Michelle, who is 39, and Jalen Green, who is, I think, 22.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's been in the news. And so the question is here, age gap. Is it our business if he's 22 and he's a grown man and he plays for the Rockets, right? Is it our business of what's going on with him? And are we upset just because she's 39 and she has she has a child his age? Like what's the issue here? Should we even be concerned about that? And I have to take this video down. Boom. Should we even be concerned about that, or no? And Tony, since you've heard about it, go ahead and make your comments. What do you think? Is this an issue, Tony? And let's just deal with Drea. Is this an issue of a 39-year-old woman who has a child that's 22? Is it an issue with her dating a man who's 22?
You think she would date a man who was 22 who didn't have millions of dollars? So this is not about age. This is about chasing the bag.
Okay.
There's plenty of 22-year-olds out there who are not in the NBA and don't make millions and millions of dollars. This is just her securing the bag for her future.
Mm.
And she took a 22-year-old and took her fineness and said, okay, I'm gonna use that to leverage a baby so that I'm good, which is, hey, he grown, he 22, you know what I'm saying? He made that decision. But whatever energy we have for them two, we had the same energy for Drake and Lotto's little sister, who's 22.
Oh, hold on. Now that's something new. I didn't hear about that. Drake is dealing with
Lotto's younger sister, and she's 22 as well. 21.
And that's a known fact.
Yeah. He sung about her in his last song. He said, what kind of water they drinking in Clayco? She's from Clayton County, and he was singing about her.
Sophie, you're back. Welcome back, Sophie. So, okay, we can address Drake in a moment. Okay, but this is Drea and Jalen. And, there's a big uproar. You're saying that the issue is the fact that it's not the age gap for you. It's the fact that he's a basketball player with millions of dollars, with $1 million contract and all that stuff. So you have an issue more so with that she's 39 and she's going for a ball player versus she's 39 and she's going for a 22-year-old.
No, I don't have an issue with it because either way, shit, and ain't none of that money coming to me. But what I'm saying is, let's look at the reality of it. That's what it is. That's not, oh, she loves him and it's, oh, age ain't nothing but a number. No, she loves money because that woman would never talk to a 22-year-old that don't got millions of dollars. She wouldn't even talk to a man her age that don't got millions of dollars because women date up. They don't date down as far as age.
Okay. So so she's a gold digger.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. So let me go with Kara. Do you have an issue with And I couched it as age gap, but we are talking about public relationships. So since this is public, you can talk about any aspect of it. But do you have an issue with Drea Michelle, 39 years old, with a child? I don't know if she has a son or a daughter, but she has a child that's 22, and she's dating a man that's 22. Do you have an issue with that, or do you have an issue with a 39-year-old woman going after a young ball player who just got into the league less than 3 years ago? That's for Kara.
We can't hear you, Kara.
Oh, hold on. Oh, hold on, Kara. I see what's happening. There's a button that somehow got clicked. Okay, you got to unmute yourself, Kara.
I think it's strange, because I just don't know what I would talk to about someone in their 20s. Very strange to me. But there's also, if you want to think about the reverse, Keisha Cole had a baby with a young man as well. I think his name was Nico.
Okay,
And I don't remember his exact age, but there was a significant age gap.
What was his name?
Nico, I think.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Hey, birthday twin. Hey, Keisha. She's gorgeous. You see, I mean, that's that. I'm not sure how real it is, but baby, I'm 45 and I go to the gym and I just love when whatever your body type is, you do get them of all ages. I was just out this weekend, a 32-year-old. I'm like, bruh, you get them, you know, and if one of them just so happens to have, you know, good conversation, he's money, and we kind of have a vibe, we just might date.
Okay.
I'm not knocking her for.
Yeah.
Okay,
know,
wait.
I actually feel bad for him. Really, if I could be like truly honest, I feel bad for him because he's young. He ain't really even lived life yet. He don't even know the rest of his life. She's already lived her life, but the rest of his life.
I'll say this: that's as bad as it get right there. So if they get married and live on together, all great. But I promise you, whatever money you want to bet, a year from now, or a few, they're not gonna be together no more, and she's gonna be collecting that check.
Yeah,
guarantee it.
That was that's a lot because I doubt. Well, they're not married, so it's gonna be an issue like a child support type thing. I would suggest to him it's cheaper to keep her. You know, if you can get her.
She don't want to get married. She already said she don't want to get married.
So that's so. And you know, I wasn't able to hear because YouTube wasn't agreeing with me for a second. I don't know if we discussed the fact that, you know, if it was the other way around, this does fall in my mind, like on that predatorial type thing. Yes, he's of age. Okay. Yes, he probably knew what he was doing, but having the mental capacity to really understand what you're doing. Me as a 40+ woman, if I were to meet me a young man, you know, certain things he just don't know. You know, he hasn't even lived life yet to really understand and grasp, to talk and sit with the OGs for them to tell him, bruh, like, don't get got. Like, and she just came in with, and she's experienced. You know, I'm not sure if you would call her 304, but she's done this before. You know, she's put in the work. I mean, look at the body, look at the glisten. She's done this before. God dang, she's done this before. So a 50-year-old man, the likelihood of him getting got, I think would be slim, because he would do the math and understand, nah, you know, I'm gonna pull out. It might be good, but I'm pulling out. No, how much I gotta pay you to take a Plan B pill? Like, you know, and she would be able to be like, she probably would take it because, you know, with the young guy, he can be finessed by, oh, I'm happy, we have a good relationship, we're good, everything is good right now. He's young. He's young. He's young.
Okay. So do you feel that, so you don't, or you do or don't have an issue with him dating her or her dating him? Tony, you gotta go.
Well, sorry,
yeah,
I gotta go. I feel
but
bad for him. I mean, for womankind. Okay, yeah, it's I don't know.
Okay.
City Girls Are Up. Yeah, it's a win for her, but it's like, is it really a win? You know, he is a Black young man. He did get God. If I was his mom, I would be very saddened, you know, saddened by the fact that my young, you know, and actually reverse, I'm gonna keep it 100. My dad is 67 years old. He got banked. What in the hell you doing, Dad, with a 3-year-old? Come on. What
I
you
know,
doing, bruh?
Tony.
You
I know you got to go, Tony, real quick. So this brings up another question before you go. So a lot of people had an issue with this one as well. So you've got
God damn.
Drea, right, and her guy, and then you also have Joey Chavez and Trayvon Diggs, right? Now she's the baby mama of Future's baby and Bow Wow's baby, and now she's pregnant, or I'm not sure if she still is, but I know she had gotten pregnant by Trayvon Diggs. There's a 10-year age gap relationship there. So there was an issue there, being that they're saying, oh, well, she, they calling her a 304 because she got a baby by Future and Bow Wow, now a young NFL player that's 10 years younger than her. But there was also this. There was a big question about Marcus Houston and his wife. And if I'm not mistaken, they got married when she was 19. And Marcus Houston, I think there's like a 16-year age gap, I believe. So Marcus Houston might have been 35 and she was 19. And there was questions around that, because when did he meet her? How old was she when he met her? It was a lot there. But if Marcus Houston caught, and this is for you, Tony, because I know you got to go. Marcus Houston caught so much flack for dating someone 16 years his senior, his junior. Now, granted, she was 19 when they got married, but that's only 19, right? And that's different than Jalen being 22 and Trayvon being 25. Is there a double standard here? Do we have more of an issue when a man goes after someone so much younger versus having an issue when a woman goes after someone that much younger? Tony, that's straight to you, because I know you got to leave.
So men generally are attracted to younger women. Now, I'm not saying underage at all. That ain't cool. But the reason why it's different here is because he is a quote unquote breadwinner. He's the one providing, and he's gonna set a life in the future for her. So when the roles are reversed, because the man has the money. So it seems like Drea is preying upon younger men who are vulnerable to get pregnant and use the system, leverage the system to basically get a bag in the future. Where here people are trying to say that he's manipulating her to be with him, but he's the one who's going to be providing and protecting for her. So in either case, I don't give a damn, because I still got to get up and go to work in the morning, so it don't matter to me. But but you know what I'm saying? I just feel like that's just my opinion on that. But at the end of the day, everybody here is of age, and they can make their decisions, and they'll learn from their mistakes. You know what I'm saying? So
okay. I know you got to go, Tony. So thank you for joining, man. I appreciate you. Okay. Make sure you're back with us on Thursday. I appreciate you, Tony.
I appreciate.
Where's my sound at? Where my sound at? There you go. All right, Tone. So, ladies, before we end this episode, and we can talk for as long as you guys want, but is there a double standard? And again, we're not dealing with anything criminal, so we're not talking about messing with somebody underage. We're talking about an age gap, and we're talking about someone older dating someone younger. Now, in Marcus Houston's case, he was the successful person, and then she was the person that didn't make as much money as him, and he's the provider.
Because she was missing since she was 14 years old, and legend has it she was living with him, and when she became of age, then she popped back up, and she was engaged and she was married.
Yeah, I heard that stuff too.
Yeah,
I did, and I didn't want to.
I get what Tony was saying about the breadwinner, and it is a double standard. Well, not really. Even Bible times, the men usually, marry the younger ones. Men like women with low mileage, younger for all the obvious reasons of, the ability to have children and all those type of things. So, that's, I would say, is the standard, the norm. What's new now is when we're having the reverse of it now. Women, I don't know, owning their sexuality, owning their own provide and protect mentality, where they're going out and they're getting it for themselves. They're don't mind, subjugating a child to, to getting a child to get the money, to get the bag. That to me is just is a different era, a different, I don't want to say a standard, but it's a different thing.
Yeah.
That's happening.
So, okay, like I said, stepping outside of the idea that Marcus Houston may have known her before she was younger and where she was living, and Chris Stokes. I don't want to do that. What I want to discuss is the idea of, is there a double standard where you have an older man dating a woman a lot younger than him, and he's the breadwinner? Now let's flip it. Now you got Drea, who makes her own money, but she's definitely dating a younger man who's a millionaire and has a, huge career in front of him in the NBA. Now she's so much older that her child is the same age. Now, granted, he's 22, he ain't 19, but is there a double standard there where they're saying one thing about her, but they say something else about a man like Marcus Houston? And then the last one is there also yet another standard where the woman is not making as much as her males that she's going after? So, meaning Joey Chavez was not making as much as Future, probably not making as much as Bow Wow, probably not making as much as Trayvon Diggs. She went after, the guys that were making a bunch of money.
You're saying went after. She's an attractive woman.
I know that, but I don't want to get caught up on semantics and terminology.
But that's the thing.
But that's the question, Sophie, and I'm glad you're bringing that up. Right. My question is there an issue with an age gap relationship when one person is a lot older, one person is a lot younger, or one person makes more, one person makes less, or one person has more children than another? In Joey Chavez's case, she's dated two people that are famous and had children by them, and now she's pregnant by a third person that's famous. And so that's what I'm saying. If a man did what the women did, would it be seen as a certain way? If a woman does what the man did, is it seen a certain way? So I'm just putting it out there.
So I just have my closing remarks before I go.
Yeah.
I just want to point out, I think it's also interesting that sometimes when a woman has a baby or had a public relationship with a celebrity, it's like they're stamped as approved, and other celebrities go after them because of who they dated. Imagine any one of Prince's ex-wives, with the exception of probably one, went on to date and or marry other famous, wealthy men. Bow Wow. Yeah, same kind of thing. It's almost like a cachet, like a brand name, that you now become more eligible because of who you dated. So I know men like to talk about, low mileage and this, that, and a third, but it seems that some women are sought after because of who they've dated, who they've been associated with. It's weird. But anyway, it has been lovely. I have to go.
You gotta go.
Right.
All right. Sophie, you have anything you want to share? Because I think, it's probably a good stopping point. Yeah. But Sophie, is there a double standard? I'm gonna let us all go, Kara. We're just gonna shut it down now. But Sophie, is there a double standard? Do you think that it's unfair how women are seen and men are seen when there's a large age gap or a financial age gap?
Women, I know we are all trying now, especially with Women's Day coming up in a couple of days, National Women's Day. We're still trying to get, for some reason, to be equal, have the equal rights as men. But women, unfortunately, you cannot date like men do. You cannot have sex like men do. You cannot do what men do. You will, for the time being in 2024, always be seen as a 304, a hoe, a gold digger, a cougar. We cannot do like men do. We're not going to be seen in a positive light. It won't be good.
Yeah. I hear you. Hey, I think Kara had to bounce. Yeah, Kara had to go. All right, so you know what? Let's end it here because I feel like we've had a great episode. I appreciate everybody for jumping in and doing this. So Sophie, I appreciate you for coming. I appreciate you. Thank you so much, Sophie. That's Sophie, that girl, y'all. Thank you, Sophie. All right, and we'll see you next time on Dave Life After Dark. All right, thanks, Sophie. Good night, man. You know what, guys? This was a real good episode, man. This was a good episode, man. It really was. I appreciate everybody for joining, man. Again, this is Dave Life. This is Dave Life, and you've been watching Dave Life After Dark. And this episode was about public relations. Public relations, man. I appreciate everybody for joining, man. Thank you, man. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're with us tonight. So thank you. If you want to support Dave Life After Dark and Dave Life TV, you can hit us on Cash App at $ Dave Life TV, at Venmo at Dave Life. All right. And I will see you guys on the next episode. Thank everybody for joining. Make sure you like, subscribe on YouTube / Dave Life TV. All right. And we'll see you guys another time, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate y'all. We in this joint. Y'all have a good night, man. Peace.